I wasn't expecting that.
How people can be so blind? Majority of Jewish people, they are most against the state of Israel. When the state of Israel will come to an end, they will not shed a tear on that. Come to Stamford Hill, how much Israeli flags you can find there. I pay her £20 for each Israeli flag she will find. She will not find even one. Palestinian flags she will find. One of the strongest power of the Zionists is the Muslims wants to kill all the Jews. You have to side with us. Palestinians wants to kill you. It's false. Just open the eyes. We used to babysit each other. Small children of 2 years, 3 years. He's a Jewish counselor with a beard. His office is in the mosque. The Muslim counselors help us. This is not a religious conflict. The problem is the occupation. Where is the most dangerous place for a Jew to live today? In the whole world, Israel. Jewish people live in Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Turkey, in Iran. They don't know what anti-Semitism is. They never experienced that. Take a flight to Iran. You will see a golden Jewish life. I'm a Palestinian Jew. I born in Palestine, but I will only go back with a Palestinian passport. And I hope I will get it. Inshallah. It's true that God promised a land for the Jews. There is a condition to that. The condition is...
That is a very smart answer. Rabbi Beck, welcome to the podcast. Thank you very much for coming. So today we're going to be talking about a few things, but mainly the difference or the distinction between Zionism and Judaism. But before we get into that, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Yes, my name is Rabbi Beck. I'm a rabbi here in North London, Stamford Hill. I born in Palestine, and my whole family gone out of Palestine, didn't want to live under the Israeli occupation. I was a small child when we gone out, and since then I never gone back, and I will never go back until the state of Israel will come to an end. I want to go back. I'm a Palestinian Jew. I'm already there for 7 generations, but I will only go back with a Palestinian passport, and I hope I will get it. Inshallah.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. Wow. Okay, so that's kind of like frozen my neurocircuitry. So in saying that, what is the difference between the Zionist movement or the Zionist narrative or Zionism and Judaism? Let's start with that question.
Yes, really, I will start from the beginning to explain it. I will try to make it short. I didn't want to keep people long, but I will try to explain it. We have to understand what is Judaism, what is Zionism. Judaism is a religion. It's not a race. It's not a nationality. It's a pure religion. If you believe in this religion, you are Jewish. If not, you are not Jewish. As a Muslim, you will understand it much better. What means a Muslim? If he believes in the Muslim principles. If somebody don't believe in the Muslim principles, you will tell him, I'm sorry, you're not a Muslim. He will say, how you can say this? My father, my grandfather, forefather, 10 generations we are Muslims. You will ask him again, you are a believer or not? He will say, no. I'm sorry, you are not a Muslim. That's all, full stop. And if somebody converts to Islam, the next day the same Muslim as you, but you are maybe 20 generations Muslim. So that means Islam is a religion. The same thing is Judaism. Judaism is a pure religion. No different. People can be Jewish as white, black, Chinese, Japanese, no different. As long as you believe. Of course, if a non-Jew wants to become a Jew, you have to go to a circumcision. You have to convert.
Yes.
However, but if he believes in the 13 principles, then he's considered as a Jew. If he don't believe in 13 principles, not only if he don't believe, if he's not clear, even in one of these 13 principles, he's not considered as a Jew. This is not my words, this is the words of Maimonides. I believe you heard about him.
Yes.
He wrote it in Perik Chelak in Sanhedrin, in some chapter, where he wrote that the 13 principles of Judaism, and he made this clear, that these 13 principles, this makes a Jew for a Jew. And that is really what one of our great leaders said already for about 1500 years ago, Hafsad Giguan. Ein Imoseini Uma Elu Betarusa. That means what unites Jewish people as a nation, the only thing is the Torah. Not a land, not a language, nothing like that. Only the Torah. If you believe in the Torah, you are Jewish. If not, you are not Jewish. This is what Judaism is. God gave us the Torah for 3,500 years ago on the Mount Sinai. Since then, all of that what united Jewish people as a nation is the religion. This is pure Judaism. Now we'll come to Zionism. Zionism has built up for about 130, 140 years ago by a person it calls, the State of Israel only 77 years are speaking about the idea of Zionism. 140 years about. It was created by a person called Theodor Herzl from Vienna, Austria. He was completely an unbeliever. He was secular completely. He didn't make even a circumcision for his own son. I must say, a circumcision is the last thing. Even people that are not observant, something like that, but they're keeping the main things. One of that is a circumcision. But he didn't make a circumcision for his son. He was proud of that. He was completely an unbeliever. He don't keep Judaism. So he tried to convert Judaism from a holy religion into a nationality by emptying it out of the religion, emptying it out of all holy concepts what's included in the religion, the belief in everything, and just transform that for a nationality. You want to be Jewish, you have to live in Israel, serve in the army, keep Hebrew, blah blah blah, empty things, materialistic aspects. But he emptied it out of the holiness, fill it in with just transform that to a national movement. That's what Zionism try to do with Judaism. However, authentic Jews, they stick to the religion, they are not giving up, and they're staying with a pure religion. Unfortunately, Zionism has succeeded to not only transform Judaism, transform Jewish people. Today are 18 million Jews, so-called Jews, on the world. Only 2 of them are observant. The rest of 16 are not observant Jews, if you not count them as Jews at all. Even they call themselves Jews. They can call themselves every name what they want. Yes, if a Muslim will say, we'll do the same thing for Islam, emptying it out of the religion, and say to be a Muslim you have to live in one of the Eastern countries and you have to speak Arabic and blah 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 blah. Yes, could be he will succeed if he have much power, but this is a transformation of Islam. This is not Islam. And really, you can understand that from the Palestinians, the Israelis took away the land. From us, they took away the identity, the whole Judaism that twisted out. They are the biggest enemies for Jews are the Zionist people. They succeed to do with Judaism in the Jewish people what nobody has succeeded. Not the Inquisition in Spain and not in any land where they tried to persecute Jews. No one has succeeded so much as they succeed to uproot 16 million Jewish people. Well, this is, maybe nearly to 70-80% of Jewish people, uproot them from the religion and give them another ideas. And the people you ask are Israeli, what means to be a Jew? Yes, you have to have a strong army, you have to serve in the army, live in Israel, blah, 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 all these rubbish things. And they don't know even from God. They don't know even from the Torah. They don't know nothing. So, as you can understand, that Zionism and Judaism is completely a contradiction. This is something what is opposite each other. I will explain it a bit more. Really, I have to speak about it later, but I will bring it up in front to understand it better. The Zionists often waving the flag of the Promised Land. The Promised Land. You
Yes.
often listen Netanyahu speaking on the media, the Promised Land. It's true that God promised a land for the Jews. However, what the Zionists ignoring is that the land was promised only under certain conditions. You can see that many times in the Torah that I can't say that everywhere, but in most of the places where the promise of the land is mentioned, there is a condition to that. The condition is if you keep a high level of life, a high moral way of life. If not, it's written in the Torah many times. One of them is in one of the prayers what we're saying every day. It's called Kriya Shema. In the second chapter of that, V'hoyim Shemoya, we say that God say, if you will fulfill the Torah in the mitzvahs, all the requirements of the Torah, God will give you the land. However, if you will fail, God will exile you from the land. And this is many times where written in the Torah. And then we look in the books of the prophets, you will see that Jeremiah, especially in Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Yeshayahu, that God sent the prophets to warn Jewish people to repent, come back to the high level, if not you will be exiled. I mean, I must say that when Jews were exiled, it didn't was so bad, the people didn't was so bad. However, they didn't fulfill this high level what God required them. Because the land, the Holy Land is a holy place. They can only accept in them holy people. If you are not fulfill this level, you cannot stay there. The land will spit you out. And that's what happened in the end. You can see that in the book of Yirmiyahu in the end, that we were exiled by God. We are now in exile by divine decree. Jewish people are loyal to God. I mean, believing doesn't mean when it's light. When it's light, you can see it. You don't have to believe. Believing is when it looks dark. When God sends us into exile, we still are loyal to God. We don't lose our believing God. We are still believing in God. We know that He keeps His eyes on us. And He watches us even when we are in exile. And God promises us He will take us out from exile when the Messiah will arrive. I just mentioned about Messiah. We will come maybe later to this point. However, I want just to mention 2 words. People asking, oh, Messiah? So he will be another Netanyahu. So it's a matter of time. Netanyahu is now, Messiah will be in 10 years and 20 years. No, it's completely a different concept. Messiah will not come with physical power at all. And he will not force, he will not kill innocent women and children, what you see today in Gaza. Messiah is completely a different thing. We will come back to this point. However, but I want just to, I finish the question, what you asked, that God promised us to take us out from exile at the end of the days. But till then, He commands us to stay in exile in all the countries and to be loyal to every country where we live in, including Palestine. We have to be loyal to the Palestinian government there, the people who are living there, where the country belongs to them. However, we will come back to this point also later. However, but Judaism is built up on believing God. God sent you into exile, stay in exile. Don't rebel against Him. I'll give you a small example. If you have a child, he is bad. You told him, okay, I have to punish you. Stay in the corner for 10 minutes. He coming out. What means that? Rebellion. Couldn't care less about you. Your punishment, I do whatever I want. The same thing if God send us into exile. We have to stay in exile, not rebel against Him. Not going out by force. Zionism, from the other hand, there was non-believers. They have a different look on the exile. They say, why? Why Jewish people should be in exile? We have to organize ourselves. What the English people should do if they are in exile. They have to organize, make organization, a stronger organization, then grab a land and build a country. The same thing we have to do for Jewish people. We have to, because they don't believe in God. They don't believe in the promise of God. They don't believe in the exile, that God exiled us from the land. They don't believe in nothing. I forgot to tell that Netanyahu said that waving the flag of the promise of the land. Who is him to speak about the promise? He don't believe in God. He don't believe in the Torah. Who promised that? He's completely secular. He was here in England for 2 years ago. He go to eat a non-kosher restaurant just to demonstrate, I'm not religious. I don't believe in God. So who are you to speak in the name of God, in the name of the Torah? This is so hypocritically. You don't believe in the Torah, just using that for your own interest. Completely false. It's completely false, because according to the Torah, Jews have to stay in exile and not to rebel against the nations and go out of exile. And this is real what Jewish people doing. This is real what Jewish people doing. We're staying in exile. We're not rebelling, and not against God, and not against his decree of exile. Zionism, from the other hand, is built up on don't believe in God, don't trust in God, do whatever you want. So you can understand it's completely in contradiction. Judaism is built up on trusting God, believing God. It's not only Judaism. Every religion is the first step is believing God. Trust him, even when it looks dark. This is the first step in every religion. And of course, in Judaism, this is the first step. Zionism is built up exactly the opposite. Don't trust in God. Don't believe him. Stand up. If you will not help yourself, no one will help you.
Yes.
So this is completely a contradiction. This is Judaism and Zionism is diametrically opposed. Completely. Now,
So if you don't mind, let me just summarize
Yes.
what you've said. So thank you. It's teaching me a lot as well. So you're saying in order to be defined as a Jew, you have to follow or believe in 13 principles, yeah? And as written by the Jewish scholar Maimonides, as known in the Islamic tradition, Musa bin Maimun. Yeah. He was also the physician of Salahuddin Ayyubi. Yeah? He was a doctor.
My colleague will speak much more.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and there's a very interesting story about him as well, which maybe we could speak another time. But he was had an interesting journey in his life in Islamic Spain. And what was interesting is that he's considered as the second Moses of the Jewish tradition. He's a huge figure.
As you say, Moshe had Moshe to come to Moshe. Yes.
Excellent. So there's those 13 principles. So if you don't follow those 13 principles, then it's a bit difficult to consider yourself as a Jew. Just like, for example, a Muslim, for them to be a Muslim, they have to affirm and internalize and believe in the Shahada. There is no deity worthy of worship but Allah, and Muhammad, upon whom be peace, is his messenger. If a Muslim doesn't affirm that, then they can't be Muslim. So it's like a principle, very similar to what you said. Excellent. And then you're saying the difference between Zionism and Judaism is that Zionism is an ethnocentric, nationalistic, ideological entity that has removed the spirit away from the Jewish people in a way, like, you know, making from the religion and from the people. And although the Jews do believe in a promised land, that is based on certain spiritual requirements. Yes. And they have a very high moral bar, yeah, that they have to reach in order for the promised land to come. And that is based on fulfilling God's commands and connecting to God, yeah? Now, as you said, it doesn't mean that if they don't have a promised land, it doesn't mean the Jews are not good. It's just that they have a very high moral bar. Yes? Good. Perfect. Now, the difference between this conception of the promised land and Zionism, such as the Israeli Zionist state, is that they ignore all of that. They ignore the fulfillment of the requirements and the high moral bar and connecting to God and so on and so forth. Is that good so far?
100%.
Good. I'm trying to listen. Okay, excellent. So, moving on from this, therefore, when you say that the Jewish people, when they follow these requirements and the high moral bar, and then the promised land would come, what would that look like? Is it going to be the same as Netanyahu's government? Is it going to be the same as the Zionist regime? Educate us in terms of what does the Torah say or the Jewish tradition say?
Look, we have a messianic belief, but Messiah, when he will arrive, Messiah will be a prophet from God.
Mm-hmm.
Messiah will not come with any physical power.
Mm-hmm.
He will come with spiritual power. In our scriptures, Messiah is, I say many times for people, to know what Messiah is not something that you can Google and then you can ask questions on that. You have to look proper in the books of the prophets, what they say about Messiah. Messiah's scripture of Messiah is Uni veroiche balachamor. That means a poor man will come on a white donkey. We don't understand what that means. I know donkeys today, like many prophecies, we will only understand when it will happen, then we can understand it better. However, the description of Messiah is a poor man coming on a donkey, not a man of power. Say, I'm the king, everybody are my slaves, I will kill everybody. No, this is the description of Messiah. Messiah will come with his power of spirit. He will come to my heart, to your heart, to all the people on the world. All of us will together serve the same God in harmony and peace. We say in our prayers, that means we all unite, all the mankind will unite to serve the same God in harmony, in peace. And really, Psalms, I'm sure you heard about it, is full of that. Where you look in Psalms, you will see that when Messiah will come, all the nations in the world will be happy. I give you one example, is in chapter 97. Hashem mulach tugelu et ismechi im rabim. When God will reveal his kingdom on the world, everybody will be happy. Me and you will be not on two sides of the fence. We will be on the same side of the fence. All together of us will come together to serve the same God. Nothing when Messiah will come, nothing will be done by force, by hand. It will be done by goodwill. I will tell you a nice story about Maimonides. We call him also Moshe ben Maimon. He was the doctor of the king Salahuddin, yes. One time the king asked him, tell me, you believe in Messiah, yes? And you believe in Messiah will come, he will be the king. Yes, so you are not loyal to me, you are loyal to Messiah. How can I give over my life in your hand? You are my doctor. He told him, listen, the Messiah will arrive. If you will not be the first one who will take your crown, put it on his head, he is not the right Messiah. I don't believe in him. I will not accept it.
That's a good answer.
The Messiah will come. All of us will recognize
that is a very smart answer.
If not, this is not the Messiah. Messiah not means a man's power and kill everybody. Messiah will come to the heart of people. Still, you ask this question, I will touch one point more. People asking, okay, but in which way you will serve God? In a Jewish way? The Muslims believe in the Muslim way, the Christians believe in the Christian way. So again, they will argue, they will fight each other. I answer every time, look, the belief has been a problem. And not this is the problem. This is not created hatred. I give you an example. You as a Muslim, have you got a problem to sit in a cafe and with a Christian friend and by a cup of tea and just you explain them what do you believe in Messiah, he will say what a Christian belief is, you are good friends. Because it's not a reason why to hate each other. You believe that, he believes that, let's wait and see. We will see when God will reveal his kingdom on the world. We will see everybody following God. Okay? When we will see the kingdom of God, everything will be clear. The belief is not a reason to hate each other and to kill each other. Not this. The problem is when you come to force other people, like the Zionists is doing, occupying other land, taking away the land, forcing on any way, forcing people for the religion. This makes people hatred, this makes people anger. But they believe himself, they believe, okay, I have my belief, you have your belief, we can sit together, we can live together. I mean, really, I must say, Jewish people have a golden history in all Muslim countries. I'm sure my colleague will explain better. We live centuries together. We have no problem. The Muslim leaders, the kings, they know that the Jews have their own belief, but they have no problem with that as long as I believe. They haven't got any ambition to take over the country. So they have no problem with them. Even in Palestine, yes. I told you I'm 7 generations in Palestine. Yes, my mother told me, my mother is already 90 years, God should give her a long and healthy life. She told me she remembered we used to live with the Palestinian neighbors, such a good relationship. We used to babysit each other. She remembered the Muslim neighbors bring over the children to her parents to babysit. And she himself, the parents took him to the Muslim neighbors to babysit for the holidays or any other occasions. She remembered that. We have a golden life. The problem is not between Muslim and Jews. The problem is the occupation. The problem is the genocide. I mean, many people, they're calling today what all the rallies in London and all over the world and all these are calling anti-Semitic rallies. I myself, I'm going many times. Not many times. I can't say going to every rally what's going here in London. In one time the police stops me. Where are you going? I told him I go there to the rally. Oh, they will kill you. What's going on? I told him, I thank them for willing their goodwill to protect me, but I told them, look, I show you a miracle. I going in there, I'm the only Jew, I coming, my friends, 10, 20 people, between hundreds of thousands of Muslims. I told them, don't protect me, just observe me. Look, I go and give between hundreds of thousands of Muslims. No, but I'm still alive. I'm here. Nobody touched me. Everybody welcomes me so much. And I say every time for people, how you can be so blind, going after the Zionist false propaganda that there is a hatred between Muslims and Jews. Look, even today, you don't have to go back to the history. Look today, Jewish people leaving Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Turkey, in Iran. Iran is the biggest enemy of Israel. Still, Jewish people leave 35,000 Jewish people living there. They don't know what anti-Semitism is. They never experienced that. In Iran, there is a Jewish hospital funded by the government. In Iran, to get an MP, you need 500,000. Jewish people are 35,000. They have their own MP who represent them in the government. Today is an open world. Yes, for a couple of £100, take a flight to Iran. You will see a golden Jewish life. You will see synagogues. You will see institutes, schools, high schools. The Jews have a brilliant life there. And the same thing, I myself, I gone to Morocco for a few years ago. I just crossed the border from Ceuta. It's a part of Morocco, belongs to Spain. It's called Ceuta. I crossed the border from Ceuta into Morocco. Straight I come over, the Muslim people coming to me, Rabbi, bless my children. And I couldn't believe it. After 70 years of occupation, still they're coming, Rabbi, bless my children. That shows and proves there is no hatred between Jews and Muslims. The hatred is about the occupation, about the genocide. And this should stop. The land should be given back for the right owners. I know that Netanyahu say every time, you hear many times on the television, Israel have the right to defend ourselves in the coming. He speak to our government into the USA every time he repeats it again. We have the right to defend ourselves. We have the right to defend ourselves. Fine, but who gives you the right to be there in first place? It's not your country.
Yes.
It's not. Everybody knows the history, knows, but for 100 years ago, 130 years ago, Jewish people in Palestine was a very small percentage, maybe 10%, maybe less than that. The Zionists bringing up many people from Europe, from the Muslim lands, with many tricks. My colleague Rabbi Silver will explain it better later. He knows the history very good. With many things they bring up Jewish people to become a majority, and from the other side they exile many Palestinians from the land.
The Nakba.
The Nakba, yes.
The great catastrophe, where I think over 750,000 Palestinians were forcibly displaced. Hundreds of villages were destroyed or burnt to the ground.
Yes, we know all this
Absolutely.
history, what's happened. Just to become a majority, it's not you land. And how people can be so blind, they're going after the Zionist lies. The Zionists thinking they can quieten up. They will quiet up the Palestinians, they will kill them and quieten up. Next generation, second generation, nobody will remember even that what it means. A Palestinian have to go to the museum, like Hitler said of the Jewish people. If you will wants to see a Jew, you will have to go to the museum. That's exactly what I'm sorry. I'm here in England. We are not allowed to label anyone. I don't label anyone with any names. But I just say what our ambitions is to wipe out the Palestinians. They will not succeed. They will never succeed. Look, when the Zionists took over the land in 1948, there was only 1 million Palestinians. Today there are 10. 10 million. What's going to be 5 years? In 10 years, there will be 20, 50. They're just going more and more and more up. And look here. People over the world waking up about the Palestinians more and more. Look, since October 7, yes, you have every week rallies here in London, and if there is weeks not in London, you have it in Birmingham, you have in Newcastle, you have in Brighton, you have in Bristol, you have all over the country, people waking up.
Yes.
It's coming out so often. In the city of London, hundreds of thousands of people, and this is only in London. The same is in USA, in Canada, in many countries where it's not forbidden still to speak out the truth. They can still speak out. I used to go to many countries in Europe, but today they say, I'm sorry, it's forbidden to organize here rallies. I don't think it's clever, but however, I'm not here to criticize anyone. I just bring out
So, before I ask you more questions, a lot of the stuff concerning the political and ideological concerns and issues and narratives and answers and questions, they've been addressed in another podcast. I want to focus on the distinction between Zionism and Judaism, which you've explained very well, and also the relationship between the Muslims and the Jews. But before I go to the next question, I want to give you a personal story. So I traveled to Palestine, I think in 2014, around 11 years ago. And it was the anniversary of the expulsion of the Jews of the Temple Mount. And there's a lot of people in the Wailing Wall, many Jewish people, Orthodox Jews, doing their prayers. And me and my friend, we want to go into Al-Aqsa, but at that time they said anyone under the age of 50, you couldn't get inside. So we took a taxi and we were looking for different places, and we ended up in the Wailing Wall. And obviously there were certain tensions going on because of the whole narrative, and there were two they looked like secular Jews, secular Jewish media people. They came from Alternet Media, I believe. And they said, what you guys doing here is quite tense today. And me, I'm a bit younger. I'm like, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. And I go through the kind of security barriers to go into the Wailing Wall. And I think there are hundreds, if not thousands of Jews just praying. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should be here. So I walk back out, and then one Orthodox Jewish young man, he looks like you, but just a bit younger. And he was saying, he was attacking the secular Jews. They were having a discussion. They were saying, the West, it's full of this, and it's not following God, and it's full of this, that, and the other. And because maybe I was a bit naive, I intervened. I wanted to have a discussion with him. And there's like all these people at the Wailing Wall, and I'm having a discussion with this Jewish man, Orthodox practicing Jew. And I'm like, look, it's not like that. Muslims and Jews live peacefully, because my mum lives in Stoke Newington. It's only a walking distance to Casanova Road, where you have the Jewish community. And I was like, we live peacefully together in London. It's not what you think. Yes, things can improve, and there are issues concerning a godly life. It's becoming more atheist, more irreligious. But Jews and Muslims live very peacefully, in England. And then there was another Jewish lady, because I think a crowd was appearing, and the Jewish lady said, she was getting involved, and I said, look, we should have a rahmah, mercy, yeah, and he was agreeing with me. And then the Jewish lady said, you took this from us. I said, yeah, we probably, we have the same tradition. Like in the Islamic tradition, we believe in the oneness of God and we believe in the previous religions. And obviously we have a narrative that, things change and Islam came to preserve oneness and so on and so forth. And I was trying to show to her that, we share a very similar tradition, the Abrahamic tradition. And then I turned back to the guy, and because it was a bit heated and, it was a heated discussion with the secular guys, I start talking more about, there was a time where under Islam, Muslims, Jews and Christians lived peacefully together. And I said something like, Rahmah, mercy is a very important principle in Islam. And we're having this discussion. Then all of a sudden, he hugged me. Yeah, I told this story to my mother. My mother is not Muslim because I became Muslim over 20 years ago. When I told my mother this story, she started crying. Yeah, and for me, I was shocked as well. It was like, it was divine intervention because it was such a kind of tense atmosphere. And then he basically embraced me in such a nice way after having this discussion with him. So I wanted to share that. I don't think I've ever shared it publicly. So, okay, so you've made a distinction between Judaism and Zionism, and you've talked about, the relation between Muslims today and Jews today. And you've spoken about the kind of messianic tradition and what that means. And, when God's kingdom comes, that, you gave a very interesting reply, which was Musa bin Maimun's reply to Salahuddin, which I thought was a brilliant reply. Now, maybe speak a little bit more about what can we do, or how can you educate the masses who don't know much about Judaism, and what can you do to educate people who are connected to the Jewish tradition but they're not really practicing? What are the key things that you could tell us and tell them to make the distinction between Zionism and Judaism, and to show them what the proper way is? What are the key things that you can educate us and also educate people who identify as Jews but maybe spiritually they're not fully Jewish?
Give a look. Secular Jews or half secular, what can I say? I'm not consider them as a Jew, and I haven't got any connection with them, and I haven't got my message to them. Even to what I can say, I'm sorry. This means, in your eyes, you think that you are a Jew. That means a Jew to kill so many babies, to kill so many kids, tens of thousands of kids to be killed, kids, men, women, children, innocent people. This is Judaism. I mean, this is terrible. This is, again, I don't give names, what I can say. But these pictures, what we see in Gaza, we only saw it for 80 years ago in Poland under the Nazis. I don't give names for anybody, but this is the pictures what we saw there. I mean, how you're not ashamed, even if this is Judaism? I'm sorry. I mean, just a bit humanity. Think about it. What you are? You are animals? You acting like animals? What's that? But and I must say also that even between the secular, what they call them Jews, there's a large movement against the state of Israel. You can see that here in the rallies, that many of the speakers, what they're calling speakers, are Jewish names. They're calling up now coming up this speaker, Jewish names. That shows that many secular Jews, they are against the state of Israel. They understand what's going on here. However, my message is more for the world and for Jews, religious Jews. Really, what I can say, that people looks like me, this type of people looks like me with curls, with a beard. Most of them are not Zionists. Most of them are strong anti-Zionists, but even the rest, what are not anti-Zionists, but they're at least not Zionists. Not Zionist means they doesn't care about it. They have the businesses, the prayers, the education of the children, everything. I put it in that way. When the state of Israel will come to an end, they will not shed a tear on that. It's not a part of their life. But the majority of Jewish people looks like me. I don't speak about other type of people.
Sure.
This type of people, they are most against the state of Israel. And that is why you come to ask your mother, she come to Stamford Hill, ask her how much Israeli flags you can find there. I pay her £20 for each Israeli flag she will find. She will not find even one. Palestinian flags she will find, many of them, but not even one Israeli flag. It's not only in Stamford Hill. Same thing as in Manchester, in Newcastle, in Europe. Everywhere you see a concentration of Jewish people like me, in Vienna, in Belgium, in Antwerp, in New York, in Canada, in Australia, in Argentina, no difference. In all over the world, you see people looks like me. In general, you will not see the Israeli flag. Of course, it can happen, but usually you will not see an Israeli flag. This is outside Israel. Unfortunately, in Israel themselves, situation is quite different. They are the settlers. They look exactly like me, and they are really the fighters. I don't know, I didn't want to give them the right name, but it comes to them. However, but even in Israel, you have hundreds of thousands of Jews, but they are rejecting the state of Israel as much as they can. I mean, they're not saving the army. Our rabbi said for a youth, better go to prison and don't go to the army. And they're doing that, our youth, and they get beaten by the police. Many of them are in the prison. You can see that, not on the media, because the Zionists have a strong power on the media, but in the social media you will see that very much, that Zionists beating Jewish people. And they not take any benefits like you're calling here universal credit, something like that. They're boycotting that. They're boycotting the votes. Don't take but money, hundreds of thousands in Israel themselves. But you know, you live in a land, you can do only as much as you can. You understand? So because of that, we gone out of that. But when you're asking what we can do, I mean, give a look. The power is by the evil, by the Zionist people. We haven't got the power, not only me, even the Muslim countries, they haven't got the power. But what I can say, I'm a rabbi, I'm not a politician. God is with us. In the Torah it's written, a rebellion against the Almighty cannot be succeed. The reference of that is Numbers 14, verse 41. As long as the state of Israel is a rebellion against the Almighty, they will not succeed. Already 77 years. But they will come to an end, 100%. They will come to an end, the state of Israel. So, again, I didn't remember how I come in. You're asking what we can do.
Yeah.
Where we can show for the world that this, what's happened now in Israel, this is not Jewish. Haven't got nothing to do with Judaism. They are atheists and don't believe in God. They're rebellion against God. Jews and Muslims have no problem each other. We can see together. I come in many times to mosques to give a speech there. And I sit together with Muslim imams. And we show we can live together. We cut the Zionist by the root. Because one of the strongest power of the Zionist is the Muslims want to kill all the Jews. They want to throw all the Jews into the sea. Even you are against Zionism, you have to side with us. If not, you will be killed. The Palestinians want to kill you. When we show that for the world, it's false, completely false. We can live together. Just open the eyes, see facts. I don't give you any opinion, just open the eyes to see the fact. Jews live in all Muslim countries today after 77 years of occupation, 77 years of genocide. Still they're living good, with a good relationship. When we bring this message to the world, this breaks the Zionist by the root. It takes away the earth, the carpet under them, the justification to have a land. They say Jews need to have a safe country. We have to protect Jews from anti-Semitism. Again, just open the eyes, look the true fact. Where is the most dangerous place for a Jew to live today in the whole world, including the Muslim countries? When you come to one point, the state of Israel. I say every time, look, I live here in England nearly 40 years. I don't know how an English soldier looks like. I don't know the uniform. Green, brown. I never saw them. I saw them in the changing of the guards. I don't know what the English soldier, what the uniform is. This means a safe country. In Israel, every small child see in daily life, they see tanks, soldiers, weapons. This means safe. There's every day another killing in Israel. This is crazy. Danger for Jews, not to speak for Palestinians. Danger for Jews. This is crazy. What's going on? How? So the Zionists say we give for the Jews a safe country. The most danger for a Jew to live is in this safe, so-called safe country. They say we save you from anti-Semitism. When I walk in the street here in London and I hear behind me Hitler, I know that he watched yesterday the video of Gaza. So they're only raising anti-Semitism in the whole world. They're not quieting it up. They're not save Jews from anti-Semitism. They're just raising hatred with anti-Semitism. So what we have to do is, in fact, just to show for the world Jews and Muslims can live together. Bring out this point. I speak to Muslim people, invite me to come to mosques to speak. I come over, spread it out on the social media. Unfortunately, the media don't accept it because there is under Zionist influence. Spread it out, and then we can show for the world it's completely false, all the Zionist propaganda.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said, that these Zionists claim that you need Israel to protect the Jews against anti-Semitism, but what's very interesting is that before Zionism, the Muslims, Jews and Christians lived harmoniously, especially in comparison to today. Interestingly, the popular historian Karen Armstrong, she writes about that when Islam or the Islamic model was governing Palestine and the region, she says that Muslims, Jews and Christians lived in harmony for the first time. Yeah, and this is something that people don't really understand. It's not only in Palestine, but when Islam was in other areas, like for example in Islamic Spain, you talked about Musa bin Maimonides. He was a product of Islamic Spain. He would write even in Arabic, right? And there was the historians call this a convivencia, a coexistence where Muslims, Jews and Christians could actually work together and study, and they have their practices and so on and so forth. It's so interesting that Zion Zohar is a Jewish historian. He talked about when the Muslims crossed the Straits of Gibraltar to the Iberian Peninsula. In the Iberian Peninsula, the Jews saw the Muslims as liberators from Christian persecution, because at that time, the kind of Catholic persecution of the Jews. The Jews, not only that, they actually joined the army of the Muslims. Yeah, because it was very important for their survival against the persecution of the Christians. Not only that, even the Ottoman period, with the Ottoman Turks, you have a book called Constantinople, and there's a primary source by a rabbi, and it's a letter, and it was written in 1453 or something, and he says, "Come to the land of the Turks. Rich are the fruits of the earth. We're not oppressed," and so on and so forth. And there are many different examples, and your colleague is going to give us more information about that, inshallah. But what I want to add to this is, or what I want to follow on is with maybe it's one or two more questions, which is, when people say that if you're anti-Zionism, you're anti-Semitism, you're anti-Semitic, what would you say as a rabbi and as a Jew?
Nothing can be more far from the truth. Everybody knows a bit history. He knows that we have the best times in our exile times from the last 2,000 years in the Muslim countries. And as I told you, even today we live in the Muslim countries peacefully. We have no problem. In Morocco, in Iran, when they're flying the missiles between Iran and Israel for 6 weeks ago, in the same time they protect their own Jews. They protect their own Jews. They didn't concentrate them in some camps or something like that. No, they are completely free. Completely free. And that I only heard I'm not, I heard it from my Iraqi Jew, and it was for 20 years ago, the war, maybe more than 20 years, 30 years, 35 years, between Iran,
In Iraq,
between Iran and the USA,
Oh, USA, yes.
in they send missiles to Israel. In the same time, the Iraqis protect the Jews. They put special soldiers in the Jewish neighborhood to protect the Jews that nobody will touch them. How people can be so blind to say this is a hatred, this is anti-Semitic. I will tell you very interesting. For about 1 year ago, I was by one of the rallies. I burned the Israeli flag.
Oh, you burnt the Israeli flag?
And the police arrested me.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I asked them, why you arrest me? It's not against the law. We may do that. They told me it's racial hatred. I told them racial hatred to burn a flag among 10,000 of Muslims and to kill the children in Gaza. This is not racial hatred. Okay, but the power, but then they arrest me, and I was arrested after about 12 hours. They called me for the first interview with a policeman, and he tried to interview, why are you doing that and what do you want? I told him, I think I know you. Maybe you're working in Stamford Hill area? I said, yes. He's coming from Stockton police station. What are you doing here? It was in Hammersmith. It's very far. He told me yes many times. They shift over. Police. Okay. I told him, can I ask you a question? Stamford Hill is a neighborhood of thousands of Jewish people and thousands of Muslims. Synagogues side by side with mosques. Can I ask you, you are police there. How many times a day you have a call that the Jewish youth and the Muslim youth fighting each other? No. How many times a week? No. How many times a month? A year? No, never. I told him why. It's the youth, Jewish youth, the Muslim youth, they have to fight each other. He think about it. I told you, you know why? This is because my racial hatred. This caused that. However, I bring out the point that in Stamford Hill, we're living together. All our minicab drivers in Stamford Hill are Muslims. We're sending our small children of 2 years, 3 years to the playgroup with the Muslim drivers, and never even one incident. When we want to build up the synagogue, the Muslim councillors help us to get the permission. And when the Muslims want to build up the mosque on Keesnov Road, the Jewish councillors help them up. I tell you more. There's a councillor called Mr. Shara. His office is in the mosque in Keesnov Road. He's a Jewish councillor with a beard. Yes? He's a Jewish councillor. His office is in the mosque. We live very, very, very good because the Muslims in our neighborhood knows we are anti-Zionist. We are not Zionist, so they have no problem. We're living very good with each other. So really, I come back to the point, nothing can be further on the truth, than this is anti-Semitism. Muslims and Jews living very good together, much better than all other countries on the world. We hope and we pray for the dismantlement of the state of Israel. We're praying for a peaceful dismantlement. Nobody looks for bloodshed. But that will happen at the end. We are not supporting a two-state solution at all, because Jews, as I told you, are in exile by divine decree. And Jews have no right to rule even 1 inch of a land, no different which land. We have no right to, and of course not on the head of other people by killing them, by robbery, evade. It's written in the Torah, in the 10 Commandments, don't kill, don't steal. This is exactly what the Zionists is doing. State of Israel will come to an end. We hope and pray to a peaceful end. We hope at that time Jews and Muslims will live together in harmony and peace. Have to say one story more. We were invited for 18 months ago in Turkey to a conference. In the middle of the conference, it's come up Ismail Haniyeh. I believe you know who is that. Is it the political leader of Hamas? He come up, he didn't know he got to be there. He saw the Jewish rabbis. He told them to come up. He embraced them. He didn't say, I here to declare Jewish people like this will be welcome in our future Palestine. We have no problem with Jews. We have a problem with the occupiers. We have a problem with the people who killing our women and children. But people that wants to live loyal to a Palestinian government, they are welcome there. And the same thing happened when Yasser Arafat died, if you remember that, for 20 years, 15 years ago. I gone up to the Palestinian embassy in London to give my condolences. And then at the end I told him, look, I'm a Palestinian Jew. I want to ask for a Palestinian passport. He told me, unfortunately, we're not issuing passport. But when we will, one of the first passports will be for you. It will be a honor for us to issue a passport for a Jewish rabbi to show this is not a religious conflict. The problem is the occupation. And that should be end. And that will be end. We hope on a peaceful way.
Good. And on that was a great place to end. Thank you very much, Rabbi, for sharing your thoughts and your initial opening few lines was it flabbergasted me. It was when you said, you hope for a Palestinian state and that you're going to have a Palestinian passport. I was like,
and it will happen.
And it will happen.
Yes. As a Jewish rabbi, I'm not a politician.
Absolutely.
But this is written in the Torah.
Wow.
The state of Israel will not last forever. They will come to an end. 100%.
All right, Beck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All the best.